A real human mummy was disguised as a mannequin and toured amusement parks across the United States for a full 50 years. This corpse even appeared on a Hollywood TV show. Nobody had any idea that the figure hanging from the gallows was actually a real mummified body. How was this secret kept hidden for over 50 years? Who was this mummy when he was alive? And how was the truth finally uncovered? December 8, 1976, an amusement park in Los Angeles was being used as a filming location for the TV series The $6 Million Man. The production crew needed a prop dummy to dress up a gallows scene. This particular dummy had been hanging in a corner of the park for 4 years. A crew member walked over to move it, and that's when something unexpected happened. The outer shell of the dummy suddenly cracked open. One of its arms snapped right off. Inside the broken arm, bone and muscle tissue were clearly visible. Everyone on set was stunned. This was no mannequin. It was a perfectly preserved mummified corpse. The scene was immediately locked down. Police, firefighters, and paramedics rushed in. They initially assumed it was just an ordinary dehydrated body, but when they saw what was in front of them, everyone froze. It was a complete mummy. The body was rushed to the Los Angeles coroner's office. The autopsy revealed that the cause of death was a fatal gunshot wound. The mummy had severely shrunken over time, and many parts of it were badly worn down. Even more disturbing, someone had drilled a hole through the corpse's neck to accommodate a noose prop. The hole was still oozing an unidentified fluid. A copper bullet was lodged inside the chest cavity. At first, the police had absolutely no leads. Then they found a crucial piece of evidence inside the body's mouth, a ticket from a 1924 crime museum, and a single coin. Historians from Oklahoma stepped in to investigate. They analyzed the mysterious fluid extracted from the body. It turned out to be an embalming solution, widely used in the early 1900s. The identity of the body was finally confirmed. His name was Elmer McCurdy. The incredible story behind this mysterious mummy was finally brought to light. McCurdy's bizarre journey, both in life and in death, shocked everyone who heard it. McCurdy was born on New Year's Day, 1880. His mother gave birth to him out of wedlock, and nobody knew who his father was. To escape the shame of raising an illegitimate child, his mother gave him away to relatives. When McCurdy grew up and learned the truth about his origins, he was consumed by anger and resentment. He started drinking heavily as a teenager. McCurdy eventually became a plumber's apprentice, but the economic depression of 1898 swept across the country. McCurdy lost his job. His remaining family members passed away one by one. He began drifting alone through the eastern United States. His drinking problem made it impossible to hold down any kind of work. In 1907, McCurdy enlisted in the U.S. Army. During his service, he learned how to handle explosives. 4 years later, he was discharged. McCurdy and a few friends formed a gang of thieves. They started robbing banks and trains across the country. McCurdy also joined a fraud ring and carried out a string of botched robberies in the Pacific region. In 1911, McCurdy and 3 accomplices planned to rob a train. They'd heard there was a safe on board holding $4,000. McCurdy forced the train to stop, then placed explosives at the door of the safe. The blast was way too powerful. The safe was blown to pieces, and most of the cash inside was incinerated. They only walked away with $450. A few months later, McCurdy's gang targeted a bank. They spent 2 hours hammering through the bank's wall. Once inside the vault, McCurdy placed explosives at the safe door again. The explosion blew open the outer door, but the inner safe remained completely intact. They only managed to steal about $150 in coins. The men jumped on a train and scattered in different directions. McCurdy hid out at a friend's ranch, drinking his days away. On October 4th, he and his accomplices planned one big job. They were going to rob a train, reportedly carrying $400,000. But once again, they made a fatal mistake. They hit the wrong train. All the passengers on board had a combined total of just $45 in cash. They also grabbed a bottle of whiskey, a coat, and a pocket watch. Local newspapers mocked it as the lowest-earning train robbery in history. McCurdy was completely defeated. He went back to the ranch and drank the whiskey he'd just stolen. What McCurdy didn't know was that there was a $2,000 bounty on his head. In the early hours of October 7th, 3 lawmen tracked him down to his hideout. McCurdy opened fire on the officers. The standoff lasted about an hour. In the end, McCurdy was shot and killed. Looking back on McCurdy's life, he was an absolute failure as an outlaw. He accomplished nothing while he was alive, but after death, he became a nationwide sensation as a mummy. McCurdy's body was sent to a funeral home in Pawhuska. For 6 full months, no one came to claim it. As was customary at the time, unclaimed bodies had to be embalmed and preserved. During the Civil War era, embalmers would display unclaimed bodies in their morgues. This served a dual purpose. It helped identify the deceased and showcased the embalmer's skills. When nobody claimed McCurdy's body, nobody paid for the storage costs either. The funeral home director, a man named Johnson, decided to embalm the body himself. He used an extremely powerful arsenic-based preservative. Johnson shaved the corpse's face, dressed it in a suit, and put it in storage. Johnson refused to bury the body until he received proper payment. Then Johnson came up with a way to make money. He decided to put McCurdy's body on display. He dressed the corpse in street clothes, placed a rifle in its hands, and stood it up in a corner corner of the funeral home. Johnson charged each visitor a nickel to get an up-close look at the body. And here's the creepy part. Visitors had to drop their coin into the corpse's mouth as admission. While some cultural traditions do involve placing objects in the mouths of the dead for peaceful rest, this was nothing short of complete disrespect. But it gets even worse. Supposedly, some kids once got a little too rowdy and strapped roller skates onto the corpse's feet. The mummy went rolling around the room while the kids had the time of their lives. Just picture that scene for a moment. It's absolutely nightmare fuel. To draw even bigger crowds, Johnson gave McCurdy a bunch of stage names. Things like the Bandit Who Wouldn't Give Up, the Oklahoma Outlaw, and the 1,000-Year-Old Man. McCurdy turned that funeral home into a major attraction. Johnson received plenty of offers to buy the body, but he turned them all down. To Johnson, this human mummy specimen was not for sale. The corpse had become his cash cow. There was no way he was letting it go. 5 years later, carnival organizers set their sights on the body. They wanted to buy it and put it on display at their shows for profit. Johnson wasn't interested in selling, so the carnival folks came up with a scheme. Two men showed up at the funeral home, claiming to be McCurdy's long-lost brothers. They said they wanted to take the body home and give their relative a proper burial. Johnson fell for the lie. He agreed to let them take McCurdy's body back to his hometown for burial. But McCurdy didn't get his rest. Over the next decade or so, McCurdy's body traveled all across America, going from show to show. At the big carnival festivals, he was always the headlining attraction, appearing alongside other major exhibits. The corpse was bought and sold between different businessmen, each one looking to turn a profit. The body showed up in all kinds of places: an amusement park near Mount Rushmore, a Hollywood wax museum, and even a haunted house. As the years went by, public curiosity faded. McCurdy's earnings kept dropping, and he was gradually forgotten. Eventually, the body ended up in a warehouse in Los Angeles, where it sat for a painful 20 years. In 1968, the body was sold to a now-defunct Hollywood wax museum, where it was labeled the 1,000-Year-Old Man. When the wax museum shut down, McCurdy got mixed in with the other wax figures. He was ultimately sold to an amusement park in Long Beach, California. The staff there painted him over and hung him from a fake gallows as a decoration. Most of the people who bought this body had no idea what it really was. They all assumed it was just a mannequin, and just like the many owners before them, the visitors at the amusement park thought it was nothing more than a prop. Then in 1976, a stunning discovery changed everything. Police confirmed that this was the real body of Elmer McCurdy. They buried him at Summit View Cemetery in Guthrie, Oklahoma. McCurdy's decades of drifting were finally over. McCurdy's life was full of twists and turns. After hearing this story, you might have overlooked one important thing. McCurdy wasn't just a profitable exhibit. He wasn't just a strange footnote in history. He carried within him a restless soul. McCurdy went down the wrong path in life and lived without purpose or direction. If he'd had a happy childhood, maybe things would have turned out differently. At the very least, in death, he deserved to leave this world in peace, not to keep wandering among the living. If no one at that amusement park had discovered he was a real corpse, McCurdy might still be hanging from that gallows, playing the role of a mannequin for decades more. Kids would still be laughing and playing in front of him, never knowing that what stood before them wasn't just a spooky decoration, but an actual human body. That's where we'll wrap up today's video. What are your thoughts on McCurdy's life? Drop your comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe.